Problem set 3, trig part 2. We're going to revisit limits. We have a new principle. Limit as x approaches c, f of x plus g of x is limit as x approaches c, f of x plus limit x approaches c, g of x. And we also have our constant multiple rule. We can factor k out. And that's provided all these limits exist. It states that in the paperwork. I don't have room to state it here, but if any of these limits don't exist, we can provide a counterexample to make that not true. We also have these two limits. Limit x goes to 0, sine x over x is 1. X goes to 0, 1 minus cosine x over x is 0. Those are just givens. Of course, we're going to use these rules and these basic limits to do some more complex examples. I'll go through two examples, which should be adequate. First of all, limit x goes to 0, sine x over 2x plus 5 minus cosine x over 3x. We can break that up into two limits, and so we have limit x approaches 0, sine x over 2x, plus limit x approaches 0, 5 minus 5 cosine x over 3x. Now we're not quite there yet. We can use our constant multiple rules, and we can write this as 1/2 limit x approaches 0, sine x over x, plus, you can factor 5 out and then 5/3 out front. So we use the second principle here, applied a couple times, and then we have 1/2 times, that limit is 1, plus 5/3 times, that limit is 0, and the final answer is 1/2. So there are several problems like this on your homework. You have to show all these steps. If you see that and just write a half, that's worth 0 points. Here's one more example. Limit x approaches 0 of sine x over 2x. Well, let's make this one big fraction. That's what I intended to do. Plus 2x plus 3 minus 3 cosine x divided by 2x. Now we can do some simple algebra. We can write this as sine x over 2x, 2x over 2x, and that over 2x inside this limit. Of course, this will simplify to 1. That's easy. A limit of a constant is a constant. There's this and this. Oh, that should be cosine x. Sorry about that. And of course, we can use this first principle here, and that gives us limit x approaches 0, sine x over 2x, plus limit x approaches 0 of 1, you can simplify that to 1, plus limit x approaches 0. And let's factor the 3 out. 3, 1 minus cosine x over 2x. And we're almost there. Now you can factor the half out. 1/2 limit x approaches 0, sine x over x, plus limit x approaches 0 of 1, and factor 3/2 out. And we have that. And that gives us 1/2 times 1 plus, that limit is just 1, plus 3 halves times 0. And altogether, that's a half plus 1, or 3 halves. That's our final answer. 3 halves, 1.5, or 1.5. So, okay, that's part 2. We'll be back shortly with part 3.